What's going on, everyone? John here with Power Clean Pressure Wash and PowerWashMarketing.com, and today I have a long overdue review of Porch.com. Let's go ahead and get right into the video. All right, so I've been with Porch now for about 144 days, 150 days-ish, and I have had a rocky experience with them, and I'm going to divulge all of that. If you like videos like this, if you like me to review these lead generation tools, make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and a comment below as to your thoughts on this video. I want to start off by talking about the history of Porch.com. So Porch.com was founded in September of 2012 after co-founder Matt Ehrlichman, I don't know how to pronounce his name, noticed that there was no organized website to find the best home improvement professionals as he was building his home. Now, I don't know if this is 100% true, or maybe he wasn't looking enough, because Home Advisor started 13 years prior, and of course it was Angie's List and a whole slew of other apps. So I think this is just like a narrative or some kind of story, maybe like a Blockbuster type of, or what is that called? The Netflix type story. It was like there was no DVD delivery service. It just sounds like a story, but that's what they're rolling with. Now, what's different about their model as opposed to Home Advisor, Angie's List, things like that, Porch.com has been more focused on their partnerships. So they have partnerships with Lowe's, Wayfair, Pottery Barn, and a lot more. So they partner with these retailers to find professionals, or to find professionals or contractors to do home improvement projects. So far, they've received over $100 million over multiple investment rounds. And as of May 2015, they moved their headquarters to Seattle. Porch.com has had its ups and downs themselves. They peaked out at 500 employees, then they laid off a ton of employees, including executives, which brought them all the way down to 250 employees. And they've slowly been growing and expanding, and they're back in the 450-ish range. So they're getting to their all-time high numbers. Their main focuses right now, they claim, are engineering, product design, and analytics. Also, they're focused on building more partnerships and growing that way. So I want to talk about some of their cons and some of the things that they're not doing the most right. First of all, prior to somebody recommending them to me and saying that they would love to see a review, and by the way, sorry that this review has taken so long, I haven't heard of Porch. I've been to Lowe's, I've been to Wayfair, I've been to Wayfair.com. I've been to these different service providers, or these partners of theirs, and I have never heard of Porch outside of the contractor industry, not like Home Advisor, not like Angie's List. So one thing is, I think they need to focus on more market penetration for consumers that are using their service, and they need to have more cross branding, because I've just have never really heard of them. Next is they have a tactic where they have an assigned sales rep to your account, and they'll push services on you, and they'll push services and things your business may not be ready for. I'll get into that in my numbers a little bit later, but their salesperson's job is to push more things on you as a contractor. So I'm putting it in the con category, because while upselling is something I do believe is a good thing, upselling for the sake of padding the company's bottom line or a salesperson's bottom line, it's never a good thing. Upselling only works when you are offering a more complete experience for the customer. Now, as far as things that they keep pushing things that make them bigger and not you. They're in this weird, awkward teenage stage right now of business, where they're trying to be like Home Advisor, trying to be like Angie's List, and are trying to kind of get on that first page of Google whenever you type up literally any contractor's information. Now, the way they do that is by asking you to put their badge on your website and then link back to the website. Now, they do this as a way to say, like, oh, you're going to be more official and people will trust you more. And while trust badges are proven to work, and they there's a lot of data that shows that they work, it more creates link backs to the Porch.com website, which raises their SEO, and they start to dominate the market. So whenever you see somebody say add a badge to your website and then link it back to them, then they're trying to grow their SEO, which makes their company bigger or make them appear bigger. So it's kind of like this like backwards tactic, you know, like, hey, this is something for you, but it's really something for me. So they're pushing things like that because they're not a majorly established company. They're not, I mean, they're $100 million company, but that's of investments. I don't know how profitable they are. But yeah, I mean, they're still in this weird growth stage, so they have to kind of break through that so that, you know, that contractors want to put these badges on their websites to add like a stamp of validation. And the last con, man, their leads are not the best. I mean, I'll go over them with you shortly, but their leads are pretty rough. They need to work on getting better sources of their leads. They're just not solid leads. All right, so with the cons out of the way, I want to talk about the good things that Porch.com does. First of all, is their leads are relatively low cost. In comparing their lead costs to Home Advisor, Angie's List, any other lead costs, their lead costs are pretty on par. I'll go over my specific numbers in a moment, but I mean, yeah, I think they're the cheapest lead that I have from a lead generation source. So again, that's Home Advisor. That's not counting Google or Facebook, you know, where I'm just advertising. But as far as a lead generation tool, I think they're the cheapest, so good job there. Their platform is simple, and honestly, it allows you to manage the entire thing, very similar to Home Advisor. You can go through and add profiles, pictures, licensing, a whole bunch of things, and it's very easy to do. So great job on building a easy to use platform. Next, and this was something that was just brought to my attention, is that you can actually earn rewards. So contractors, kind of like a cash back program, but it's not cash, it's just a credit back, and you can use it toward your membership, or you can use it toward your to your lead credits, or whatever you choose to use it toward. But it's almost like a Costco membership, the Costco business plan. I think that was the inspiration, where you earn 10% back on all the leads that you spend, and then at the end of the year you get that back in a credit of some sort. So I haven't got that just yet, but you can see a running tally of it, which, you know, it's always good to get something back. Another thing is they offer a credit system very similar to Home Advisor, because you're paying for each individual lead. If the lead is not solid, or, you know, fits into that criteria, they do offer a credit system back. It's not the absolute best, but it's definitely there. Next thing, and I think this is a little bit unique, I think Home Advisor does this too, but they have a thing called competitive insights. You can see how many other professionals received the lead, have responded, and even contacted the customer. So it gives you like a little indicator to kind of let you know how competitive you're being with this customer. And the last thing that I think is pretty unique to them, and kind of like their only value proposition in my opinion, is that they have a high-end service that will actually, they will call the customer on your behalf, contact them, get them on the phone, and then call you and then connect you to. So that's a way of, you know, it's called, I think, a verified lead system. So it's just making sure that they contact the customer on your behalf before they, you know, pass them off to you. I think it does cost a little bit more money, but it's a pretty interesting tool. All right. That's pretty much the pros and cons and a brief little history of Porch.com. Now I want to get into my specific numbers, and let's kick it off with the leads. So, like I said, I've been with Porch for some time now, I think over 150 days. I mean, my first lead came in on September 3rd, 2020. And since then, I've received 15 leads. And this data is as of January 25th, 2021. So not many leads. Now, mind you, this is during the slow season, so completely understandable. But comparatively, I have received more leads with other services. So this is very, very, very slow in my opinion. I have spent $264.76 on those leads. that's an average of $17.65 per lead. And when you average out the leads per day, I get 0.1 leads per day. So that basically means I get one lead every 10 days. So it's not a lot of leads. So if you're looking for a lot of leads, this is really not it. Next, let's look at the jobs that I've won with this service. So out of those 15 leads, only 2 turned into jobs. It's a very low close rate. That's about a 13% close rate. Very poor. That's underperforming with all of my other lead generation services. This is by far the least performing by about a third. My close rates in other platforms range between 30 and 50%. So this is definitely an outlier at 13%. So only 2 jobs earned. I've generated $1,131.98 with this, and that's an average of $565.99. Pretty good average ticket price, comparing that with all my other lead generation platforms. So not too mad about the revenue and the average job price, but I'm definitely disappointed in the number of jobs earned. Now, like I said before, you can submit credits for leads that kind of don't fit your criteria, or there's a lot of reasons to submit a credit, but here's the ones that I've submitted. I actually submitted 4 credits, submitted 4 credits, and that was a total of $78.95. I got back 2 that said I was ineligible for $22, and then I had 2 that were auto credited at $56.95. Now, the reason that they were auto credited was because of something that happened with a representative. Like I said, their proactive sales representatives called me and said, "Hey, I noticed you're not getting a lot of leads. Let's see if we can do something about that. I'm gonna put some more tasks on your profile, and we're gonna try to get you scheduled more." I said, okay. And mind you, the main reason why I'm doing this was for this review. I wanted to review the service, so pretty much anything they asked me, I said okay. And because I wanted to see what kind of road they're gonna take me on, what kind of rabbit hole they're going to drag me down. Because if I was somebody else, or if I'm a new business that has no idea, I may start saying yes to these things, right? So I wanted to go as deep as they would allow me down the rabbit hole. And what happened was the representative started adding all sorts of things that were in like cleaning, but wasn't pressure washing at all. I explained to him exactly what I did, and I'm very transparent, I'm very precise, I say exactly what I mean. So there was no confusion as to what I did. There was a little bit of deception because that representative added services that I don't offer, like interior home cleaning or chimney cleaning, just all sorts of different things, like maid services basically. And because of that, I got a couple leads that were completely outside of my scope of work. They did credit 2 out of 3 of those leads back. One of them for about $26. I did have to bite the bullet on. They said they don't want to credit me for it. And I talked with the representative. He said, personally, I would love to credit you, but as a representative here, I can't. And I thought that was the weirdest comment to say, but nonetheless, I'm doing it for the review. I'm doing it for your experience. I didn't appreciate a comment like that. I thought that was very shady, and I didn't like something like that. But this is what the credit program looks like with Porch.com. Last, let's look at my profit. So looking at my numbers, I did $1,131.98. It cost me $264.76 to make that. That's a total profit of $867.22, or about 76.61% profit. Now, 23.5% lead cost is starting to get a little high, right? 20% is kind of where everybody else is at. This is starting to get a little high, especially because some of these I don't think I should be charged for. Yeah, this is starting to get a bit high. So you have to ask yourselves, if I took that $265 and put it into Facebook ads or Google ads or somewhere else, could I make more money? And I mean, honestly, I think the answer is yes, based on these numbers. But I'm gonna give them a little bit more time because, like I said, this is during my slow season, and I really want to see what they look like in the summertime or as they grow a little bit. I'm very curious about that. So I want to talk about my recommendations to Porch.com. So Porch.com, if you're listening, this is what I think you should do. First of all, you need to slow down. You're trying to do this rapid expansion and you're trying to be Home Advisor today, and I don't think that that's going to work. A lot of contractors hate Home Advisors, so don't put yourself into that box. They don't want to do, I mean, if you're in these Facebook groups, you'll know that Home Advisor has a terrible rap, and Porch is going to put themselves in the same position if they keep pushing contractors into services that they don't need, don't understand, have representatives that basically tack on extra things and are really deceptive. They have to focus on creating good quality relationships with the contractors. That has to be half of their business model. They have to focus on like growing them and not with a bunch of other like filler stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's in the pipeline of the business, like CRMs and payment services and invoicing and all sorts of things. Stop all that. Guys want jobs. Contractors want jobs. Nothing more. They don't need CRMs. They don't need payment processing. They've got all those things. There's other better services out there for that. And even if you make a really good one, there's no way in the immediate future that you're going to provide so many leads that your CRM is going to be so invaluable that it's going to be a funnel for everything else. Stop, right? Just focus on creating good, solid relationships with the contractor and slow down, because that's where the hole is. Angie's List, contractors hate it. Home Advisor, contractors hate it. Things like Nextdoor, contractors are liking that because they're able to create good relationships. Focus on the contractor relationships. Next, on the consumer side, it makes sense that you're trying to grow your brand by partnering with other brands and other retailers. But again, I've never heard of you. So you got to focus on 1 or 2 partnerships. Maximize those partnerships and then leverage those partnerships into other growth opportunities. There needs to be more cross branding, more things with Lowe's and Porch.com. It needs to be a proactive push. It needs to have a Porch representatives in the stores physically walking around with a tablet saying, hey, do you want me to put you with one of our contractors? Maybe partner with somebody not in the home improvement space, because a lot of people that go to Lowe's or Home Depot are either contractors or people looking for DIY. So that may not be the best space. Brands like Wayfair, again, it's a retail brand and it's somewhat good, but I don't know if I'm going to go to Wayfair to try to get my deck cleaned. I don't know how that crosses. You need to partner with brands that consumers go to that are trying to put projects together. I think honestly, more direct marketing, more ads on Facebook, more awareness, instead of trying to put together these big brands, these big deals. I think maybe doing some sharing costs with some of the partners, some of your contractor partners. So for example, maybe me as a pressure washer, I would help subsidize some of the costs of a Facebook ad or of a Google ad or of a campaign. I can be like a premier partner or something like that, and I can be featured on Porch.com's Facebook ad. So it becomes a cross marketing platform. I think you're thinking like you're wanting to work with these big brands, but I think there's a lot more leverage and a lot more opportunities to highlight some of these smaller ones, right? Because my company covers 3 different counties. If you were to leverage only a few of companies like mine, then you can reach the entire nation pretty fast. And you have these small little marketing campaigns that are very bespoke and very regional and very specific to those areas. So I think that is more the answer. It's going to give you great relationships with contractors contractors, and it's going to probably even shrink some of your marketing expenses and the cost of those partnerships. So last is my recommendations, or just kind of my summary to the contractors out there. If you get a call from Porch.com or somebody recommends Porch.com to you, I have to say at this stage, this is January 30th, 2021. I think Porch is at this tipping point, and they have to really decide which direction they're going to go. If they're going to continue to try to become or replicate the home advisor path, it's going to be harder and harder to recommend them, positively. I think they're going to sever the relationships with the contractors. They're not going to be able to create good enough relationships with the consumers, and you're going to have a company that's going to effectively go away or be swallowed up by Home Advisor, Angie's List. I think it's Angie Home Services is the parent company. Maybe a buyout is their overall in-game goal, but I don't know. It's very hard to recommend a company like that. If they are looking to do not more of the same, if they're looking to carve out their path a little bit more, I would still say if you're just beginning, I wouldn't invest into any lead acquisition services. There's plenty of other ways to spend money and get jobs. If you are rolling and your business is going and you have somebody dedicated to following up on these leads, because that's really the main thing. You need somebody specifically dedicated to follow up on these leads, because these leads cost a lot of money. So you don't want to waste that money. You want somebody that's going to call these customers back, that's going to pick up the phone, that's going to schedule these leads out, that's going to follow up. So either some kind of secretary or sales representative, or maybe the owner of the company is focusing on this kind of thing. But you need to have those processes in place before you get a lead acquisition service like Home Advisor, Porch, Angie's List, any of those. So if you have those, then maybe give Porch a try, but understand that they're still in a growing stage and it's going to be a little bit wonky. It's easy to use, but just take your time with it, and take your time with them. It's a rocky road right now. If you're brand new, I can't say do it. I'd say hold off a little bit, save your chips and put it back into your business. Get into Facebook ads, get into Google ads, something like that you're not competing with other contractors for the same lead. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that was my review of Porch.com. What did you think? Did you learn something? If you have an experience with Porch, can you comment below? I'd love to hear what you have to say. Do you want to see more videos like this? Was this helpful in any way? If you work for Porch, comment below. Am I hitting the nail on the head, or do you see a different vision? Am I wrong in what I'm saying here? I want to hear everything that all of you have to say. Please drop a comment. Also, if you want more content like this, hit the subscribe button. Then also hit the little bell for notifications for more awesome videos like this, and give it a thumbs up, big like. Either way, guys, thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.